Yo, what's going on? Dog Artmanboxing. I'm back with another boxing conversation. Devin Haney versus JoJo Diaz. Man, it felt like it was just yesterday when we were all on the internet saying, hey, man, you need to fight this guy. You need to fight this guy, Devin Haney. You need to fight him. Now we finally here. So, now that we're here, kind of give my thoughts on that shit, man. I've been really impressed with what I've been seeing, dude, from Devin Haney. Just looking at the film of his brother, I'm like, man, this guy, he ain't no joke, man. From the hooks, the right hands, the uppercuts, to the head movement, to the IQ, to the shoulder roll. I'm just like, yo, this guy, he's gonna be here for a while if he fights like this. But one thing he shouldn't do is try to impress what my brother Diaz like to say. What he should do is shouldn't try to impress the brown Klansmen and the white Klansmen. What we mean by that is the racist fans that's not going to enjoy you or love anything that you do, regardless of what you do. He got to embrace that villain role, Devin Haney. Just go ahead and take it, dude. Them days of accepting like a Sugar Ray Leonard and all that shit, it's over with. You know what I'm saying? So nowadays, you just got to keep it 100. Learn from Mayweather. You see how they hated that guy, and what did he do? He turned that hate into millions. Nobody can be mad at that. But my dude Andre said, easy work for Dev. And, after watching the footage, I'm thinking the same. But a lot of people are gonna say, "Oh, Art man, you're just biased. You're biased to American fighters and black fighters and all that shit." And I'm just like, dude, bias, schmish, whatever the fuck you gotta say, it doesn't matter. Skills pay the bills, and my brother Devin Haney is looking like a young Money Mayweather in there. And yeah, I said it. Haney's looking like a young Floyd Mayweather in there, dude. And I don't give a fuck what you say. The guy, he studied under Floyd Mayweather Sr. for years on end. And you want to tell me, oh, it's a crime to say, hey, that guy's looking like Floyd Mayweather Jr. You want to tell me that, but it's no problem when you say, oh, Tyson Fury's Muhammad Ali or Lomachenko's the next big thing to Sugar Ray Leonard or whatever, Sugar Ray Robinson, whoever. Just know it was the bullshit. That's all I know. I wouldn't be surprised if he dropped JoJo. I wouldn't be surprised if he stopped JoJo. You see JoJo after he leaves those fights, he's a bloody mess after all them fights. It's a bloody mess after all those fights, man. And people want to act like, oh man, this guy's a tough guy. He's tough. And I like JoJo to an extent. But I understand that JoJo Diaz is not going to pose a major threat to a guy as skilled as Devin Haney do. I know a lot of people watching that Linares fight and thinking, oh my God, in that one round he hit him and it stunned him. Dude, let's break that down. Linares is known for having power in that weight class. He is known for dropping guys like Luke Campbell and who else? Lomachenko, the guy that you said was the best fighter in the world at the time, right? But here we are. We have Devin Haney, who got struck on the last, seconds of the round, caught him off guard, and it stumbled him. He didn't drop. He didn't get stopped. The ref didn't say, oh, I'm about to jump in and throw it, and I'm about to do it. Nope, none of that. He weathered the storm. Yes, he did clinch a lot towards the end of the fight. It's because he's still trying to recover. Isn't this a game of boxing? Don't you win by points or knockout? So why is it a crime that the guy know that he's up and he's been hurt, instead of risking it and try to show his balls and all that shit that y'all like to say, he went out there and did what the fuck he had to do to run the clock and win that fight. But other than that, few moments when he was done, the brother showed us a really, really excellent skill set. He showed us that he's able to box, he's able to bang, he's able to sit on the shots, he's able to dodge, he's able to duck. Man was looking beautiful out there. You know what I'm saying? Looking like a young, pretty boy. But don't let them hear you say that. Let them fans hear us say that. Oh, it's the end of the world. Oh my God, I can't believe. Oh my God, I can't believe you'll compare this guy. Come on, dude. And you know, my thing is, we need to stop letting dudes who are not American tell us what the hell we can compare American fighters to. So that's the craziest shit to me when dudes be like, oh, you can't compare. I just be looking like, dude, what? Who the fuck are you to tell me anything about our young buck right here, Devin Haney? And so far, from what I've seen, no matter what he do, you guys don't hate him. He made a big mistake in that fight with what's his name, Bernard, trying to prove something to you guys. Who's gonna hate him regardless. Said, "What's up, Art man? What's going on? Hey, Art man, I'm picking Devin to win, but if you want the underdog money, put 500 on Adams to beat Devin." Oh, he's fighting on that card. Bernard's a puncher, and he dropped him on the death. Didn't have to brawl, but he did to the fans. And my thing is, look. If Devin would have went on to that fight and just outboxed him, made him look foolish, schooled him all night. You know what they was gonna say? You know what they're gonna say? They're gonna say, "Oh man, he's boring. Devin Haney is boring. He's boring. Oh man." And you know, a lot of that, I feel like that's the mind frame he had going into that Linares fight. And it cost him because he's thinking, oh man, I gotta impress these guys. You know, they're saying I'm boring. I need fans. You know, I need people to come out and support me. But dude, that shit right there cost him. He fought in the pocket, and they still booed him. Man, they act like what he did for the whole 9.5 rounds didn't mean shit. It didn't mean nothing. Oh, he got stunned. And they were calling him Chinny, but they ain't calling Lomachenko Chinny. I wonder if they're going to call Teofimo Lopez Chinny for getting dropped by a dude who's not known for having power. I wonder that. They probably not going to say nothing. Nah, real shit. They probably wasn't going to say nothing regardless. Said he fought a whole different style and still dominated. Still look impressive. And guess what? Y'all can say what y'all want. If he was so chinny and he was so this and that, why in the world nobody was fucking jumping to snatch that belt for him? Look at for example, look at the situation with George Kambosos, right? George Kambosos just got the biggest victory of his career. And what them folks saying? Oh, I want to fight him next. Oh, I can't wait to fight him. I want to fight him right now. Matter of fact, I'll drop my next fight to fight him. Devin Haney got hurt. Nobody's saying, hey, man, I'm in a rush to fight him. I want to fight this guy. This is the guy I want to fight right now. They weren't doing that. They weren't doing that at all. They weren't saying that at all. They just talked shit about him online and kept it pushing. Oh, no, I don't want to fight him. I'd rather fight another mandatory. Get the fuck out of here. Dude, I'm going to keep it 100. The public pressured. We pressured JoJo Diaz to take this damn fight. I don't want to hear no, oh man, this is something he always wanted to do. Salute to him for stepping to the plate. Nah, I don't want to hear that shit. Because what's up, man? What's up? Well, I'm not going to act like I was one of the main people saying, hey, Joe, you need to fight this dude. You need to fight this man right now. What are you talking about? You don't want to fight him. What do you mean you want to fight Ryan Garcia? Nah, son. Well, I ain't trying to hear that. Yep, I was one of the main folks on Twitter saying, dude, man, stop playing games, man. If you don't fight this dude, if you don't fight this dude, if you don't fight this dude, man, dude want to sit here and act like he always wanted this damn fight. That man did not want this fucking fight. Not one bit. Had to force that man to get up in that ring. That Adams a live underdog. We'll see. What's good, Art? We got another good weekend of boxing. We sure do. We got the man Gervonta Davis going in there. And shout out to everybody who caught the merch. It's one of my favorite shirts right here. Hold on, let me show y'all. You know, Gervonta Davis doing the backflip. Yeah, you can get this on artmanapparel.com. Artmanapparel.com. Shit. And if you DM me, any of those who want the shirt that you see on the website and you don't feel like going through the website, you can just DM me too. We can do a little cash app and I can send it to you. Ain't no problem. Ain't no problem. But shout out to my brother Diaz, the most hated. What's going on, brother?
What's going on?
Hold on. Man, hold on. I know it. I had my Bluetooth. Can you guys hear me all right?
It's a little muffled, but we can still hear for the most
It was
part.
a little muffled.
Yeah.
Fuck, because I still had my headphones plugged up. Damn. I know I probably sounded all types of crazy just now.
Nah, just like it's muffled.
Yeah, man. I'm over here. Somebody paid me to draw a picture of Young Dolph, so I got to find the right picture.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, rest in peace to that, bro.
Yep.
But
Tragic.
yeah, man. How you feeling though about this fight this weekend?
I'm excited. I don't see anything unexpected happening. Like, when I see people talking about, Haney got to worry about JoJo Diaz's power, people be forgetting they have the same amount of knockouts. And because Haney has less fights, his knockout percentage is actually higher. So, Haney's longer. He has all the advantages. The worst thing he has to worry about is either a rabbit punch or a headbutt. But other than that, Diaz doesn't bring anything to the table. I mean, they're rating him off beating Tevin Farmer, who's got 5 KOs and not that much amateur experience, and Fortuna, who is, with all due respect, never been that good. So, I mean, he's solid, but he's never held a world title in his life, and he's famous for flying out of a ring and losing all his step ups. So it's like, what are we talking about? Again,
And then on top of that, I just came from watching the fight. He barely even won that fucking fight.
exactly, and in my opinion, the draw he got with Razmakov, he lost, in my opinion, and Razmakov was a nobody. Razmakov is still a nobody to date, and people are. I mean, am I saying that it's impossible for JoJo Diaz to pull an upset? Of course not. Am I saying it's highly improbable? Yeah. Like, we all saw Cambosis, that could have possibly went sideways. We all knew it could have been sideways, but Lopez was probably the safe money. This, I would be legitimately shocked if Diaz managed to win somehow.
And I've seen it. You know how you said the only way you can really see JoJo winning this fight is by fighting dirty.
Yeah.
I just watched that fight with Fortuna, and I'm like, one thing I noticed is that the brother was fighting pretty dirty in that fucking fight, man.
They both do. That's the only
So
way
bad
you.
that he even took a point in a way for punching in the back of the head.
That's the only way you can fight a dude like Fortuna is by fighting dirty, because he fights dirty. And even if you rewatch the Tevin Farmer fight, the referee had to get on the corner's ass because they were trying to cover JoJo Diaz's body in Vaseline, and the referee had to be like, nah. So, he admitted they're coming in dirty because that's the only way you could beat somebody like Devin. So it is what it is. Devin got to be prepared for that.
And that's one thing. You can have all the skills in the world, but if you don't got the skills to fight somebody dirty, then you might end up like Deontay Wilder.
Yeah, or Gvozdyk. As soon as he started outboxing better be
Yeah.
started rabbit punching, or Jamal James.
Yeah. And
As
they
soon
say,
as
you just
Jamal's
mad
there,
your guy lost. I'm like, dude, I'm a fucking boxing fan. Do y'all not see this? Well, everybody fights dirty sometimes. Andre Ward and his low blows. I'm like, dude, what are we even talking about here?
yeah,
Whenever we talk about somebody being dirty, they want to bring up fucking fighters who's retired. Andre Ward and Floyd Mayweather. You know,
but
they
my
grab
thing
people
is,
by they hit them in the nuts before.
yeah, my thing is, if you're okay with fighters fighting dirty, then don't ever complain about it. We complain about it because we're not okay with it. If you're personally okay with fighters fighting dirty, cool, but don't talk shit. Don't try to say, oh, well, Deontay Wilder's also dirty. It's like, wait, but you don't care. But you don't care about people fighting dirty, so don't worry about it. Don't talk shit. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
He fights dirty, man.
It's like, but I
Look,
thought that didn't
and
matter.
my
I
thing
thought
with
everybody
JoJo
fought
Diaz,
dirty.
is like, bro, I was just watching the clip and somebody got upset, but I was like, dude, just watching JoJo Diaz work out, and I'm keeping 100, good athlete, good fighter, and all that shit, but Devin Haney's just overall just a better fucking fighter, man. He's bigger, he's longer, faster. You know what I'm saying? I would say, and then I said he has more power, and people are like, what? What in the world? I'm like, dude, like you said, man, his power percentage is, his knockout percentage is higher.
At the very least, they have comparable power to one another. They're neither one of them are knockout punchers. The reason why JoJo gets that is just again because people look at his style and he doesn't fight like a traditional boxer because JoJo Diaz is like he's not a very slick southpaw. He's not. That's why whenever people say someone's southpaw, I'm like it doesn't automatically mean you're slick. JoJo Diaz reminds me a lot of a Casamayor type character. He's semi robotic, has a little bit better foot movement. He can pivot on angles and stuff like that. But for the most part, he's like just a regular straight up southpaw. And when he starts getting down on the cards, when he feels like he's losing, he'll start getting dirty. Albeit Tevin Farmer played into his hands, but still. And Southern T pointed out, Tevin and Fortuna would be Devin's best wins. You're absolutely right, but that doesn't take away from the fact that Haney is, if we're looking at skill set, is more than likely levels above JoJo Diaz, and that's going to show because the one time JoJo Diaz,
Who's a tougher fight, Linares or Tevin Farmer?
I definitely think Linares because again, Tevin Farmer he had very little amateur experience, only like 5 or 6 knockouts, a string of losses. He was learning on the job. So yeah, and not to mention Tevin Farmer used the complete wrong strategy for JoJo Diaz. He let his corner say, "Okay, rush in and get close to JoJo." Why the fuck would you do that? Yeah,
He just
someone with
outbox his ass.
someone with that level of ring IQ is not above Linares. That's why whenever people keep talking about Tank needs to go fight Tevin Farmer, I'm like, for what? So he can get no credit? Tevin
Yeah,
Farmer.
not anymore. That's just already said and done. That shit
Yeah,
has just fucking been sailed.
and I like Tevin Farmer. I don't want people to say, "Oh, you a Tevin Farmer hater." No, I'm not a Tevin Farmer hater. I'm just keeping shit real. I'm just keeping shit real. He doesn't have that much power, and he has 5 losses, 1 draw, only 6 knockouts out of 24 fights, and out of 30 Ws. And with all due respect, I'm not saying he's not slick, but he's not fucking Pernell Whitaker in there. You're not gonna be able to do Tank like that. You're not. Eventually, he's gonna catch up with your ass, and then it's gonna be over. He's gonna fold Tevin. Tevin looking for another paycheck, bro. Because everybody understands at
Yeah,
this point, Tevin Farmer is he's a reasonable risk opponent, but he's not a draw at all. He was a champion for a little bit, then he lost it. So it's like Tank
and
ain't
then he
gonna
had
get
like five. Didn't he have like 5 fights in 1 year, and nobody even gave a. They wouldn't talk about activity back then.
exactly. But the thing is, it's easy to stay active when you ain't fighting really anybody. I mean, with all due respect, people talk about, oh, Canelo's fighting 3 times this year. I'm like, so is fucking Jake Paul. What's your point? You throw a Yildirim in the mix, and anybody can fight fucking 3 times a year. Like, stop giving me that.
And that's what I said.
People be counting Yildirim
I
as
just said
legitimate.
you would get Tevin Farmer
Oh,
hater. Hey, I fuck
stop
with
it.
Tevin Farmer, but we being real here, bro.
Stop it, T. That's not fair. I'm not a damn Tevin Farmer hater. That's some cap. I do
I like
respect
Tevin
Tevin
Farmer, and I
Farmer.
wanted the Tank fight at the time, but now right now, I understand that fight ain't shit.
Tank is not even in that division, bruh. This is what I'm saying. They want him to come down to 130. It's bullshit. Like there are plenty of people at 130 I want to see Tevin fight, and I believe he has a good chance of outboxing them. But it's just Tank is not one of those people. That's all I'm trying to say. That's all I'm saying.
You
What?
say you a hater, big dog.
I didn't say Tevin was not good. I just said when it comes to Tank, he ain't all that. And I said Linares was better because Linares has 3 divisions worth of championship credentials and more knockouts and has fought better competition than Tevin. That's all I'm saying. I'm not a Tevin Farmer hater. Stop it. Shit. I mean, if
You
anything, I
said
think
Tevin not that good.
Tevin Farmer be
You
able to
said his
beat
opponent's
Fortuna.
not good. When you say not good, are you saying in comparison to Tank's opponent, comparison to Jojo Diaz's opponent?
Oh, he's saying back when Tank was down there, Tevin might have beat him. I mean, yeah, he was saying that when Tank's down there, Tevin might have beat him. At 130, I still would pick Tank, but you might have had a point. You might have had a point. But now, yeah.
Yeah, at the time, we talking about at the time. Yeah, I wanted to see that fight. I even drawn a picture about that fight
Yeah.
because I wanted that shit
Yeah.
to happen.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
now we're looking at a totally different game, dude. Tevin Farmer hasn't been in the ring in a long time.
Yeah, it wouldn't even be it wouldn't even be legal to put Tevin Farmer in there. That would be fucking child abuse.
You know, some of my Mexican partners hit me in the DM talking about Tank gonna lose to Cruz.
And that could always happen. I don't think it's going to happen, but I think Cruz is going to bring a lot more to the table than people expect because he's a very difficult style for Tank to fight. But I'll tell you this, the fact that Tank has a jab and Cruz does not means that Cruz has no choice but to win by knockout. And the worst
That
part
means
about it is
Cruz has nothing to lose besides going there with his fucking head and try to
it,
rough him up.
exactly. He's going to put his head down and swing wildly and try to catch Tank with something, and then he's going to throw lots of uppercuts and body shots. So that's basically all he brings to the table. I think Tank is going to catch him because Cruz is one dimensional, but people are going to use this to say that Tank is not all that good, as opposed to putting some respect on Cruz's name because people forget Cruz was ranked right behind Cambosis before this Saturday, was ranked number 2 in the IBF, and people talking shit about Cambosis, and Cambosis fucked around and demolished the guy y'all thought was a god off of a single Lomachenko win.
Look. It was at to a point where people were calling me fucking crazy. All right, man, you crazy for thinking that shit, right? The funniest comment is when my dude Midwest Boxing, he said, "Man, I ain't gonna lie, Teofimo Lopez shouldn't be in there with George Kambosos, letting you know, like, hey, the guy that y'all thought was the shit, man. Truth be told, he shouldn't even be in the ring with a guy like this."
Yeah, and upsets happen, but the thing is, that's what makes boxing exciting. When you don't actually know who's going to win the damn
Who's
fight,
gonna
people want
win?
to.
They
Yeah, people
forget
want.
that part, dude. They forget
It's,
that part of the fucking game. Like,
it's because they're so
dude,
used to
and then
what
they be like, oh, well, Canelo, he's just better than everybody. So, of course, it's not going to be 50-50 never. I'm like, dude, it will be 50-50 if you put him in the right style matchups. Why is he going up to 190 and we already know, even though that this guy is an established fighter at that weight class, that we already know that Canelo's going to win. If not by the judges, by some freakish knockout or some shit.
right. It's that fucking kindergarten schoolyard logic. I would fight you, but it would be too easy. That's bullshit. If anybody heard that on the street, they would instantly classify that person as a pussy. Oh yeah, I would love to fight that person. It'd just be too easy. You sound like a dumbass.
And he's too boring.
Yeah, oh, he's boring. He's horrible. I would easily knock him out in 30 seconds. So I don't want to fight him for millions of dollars. Okay, for sure.
Man, you see Eddie Hearn. If Eddie Hearn didn't have such a good relationship with Canelo, I feel like he would have exposed him because, when Andre said, yeah, nigga, there was a chance that Canelo could have fought me for 40M. And he said, nah. Nobody said Eddie Hearn, Andre, you a liar.
Right. Right, absolutely. And honestly, like I said, I don't even think that Cambosis versus Haney is next because Eddie Hearn has proven to consistently not be able to provide the big fights. What he should be doing right now is getting ready to empty the entire bank on Cambosis to get this fucking Haney fight. But it's not gonna work. People already talking about the WBA and the WBO and all that good stuff. But I personally don't think Cambosis is that guy. I don't think he's that guy that's really about the smoke because the day after he's over here talking about, oh, I'm the man. People got to come see me. We got to do what fight makes sense. I'm like, oh, see,
Ah,
every
shit. Yep. And now I'm
Every
hearing fans saying, "Well, he just beat Lopez. I mean, he could fight anybody right now." And I'm like, "Ah, shit.
yeah,
I thought you niggas wanted undisputed
they're
Ryan
turning
Masters."
Cambosos they're turning Cambosos into everything they fucking criticized Lopez for. Because Lopez was saying the same shit. I just got a win over Loma. I can do whatever I want. The belts don't matter. I'm already undisputed. Blah 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 blah. Y'all talked all this goody good shit about Lopez, and now you want to turn Cambosos into the same damn person. I'm fucking tired of y'all, man. Like motherfuckers get one solid win and they think, oh, that's it for boxing. I'm done. I don't have to box no more. I should be able to fight bums for the rest of my fucking career. It's like, man, I wish some other people got afforded this luxury. Imagine Mayweather beating De La Hoya and that was it. He fought fucking nobody for the rest of his career. No, he got criticism after every W. After every W.
That shit's funny as hell, bro. They really be on that shit. Oh well, I mean, he don't have to fight anybody. I mean, he just fought, you know. So why does he have to fight again? Like what the bro? People forgetting that the hardest part is not becoming champion. The hardest part is fucking staying champion.
Exactly. It becomes a game of king of the hill at that point. And people talking about, oh, I got a target on my back, and it's like that's what being a champion is. Everyone wants to talk about the best fighting the best, and if the best are the people that have the belts, then that's who you're supposed to be fighting. But instead, you want a bunch of people to fight some other people who don't have belts. Like, oh, Haney needs to fight fucking Fortuna, and Charlo needs to fight Benavidez. And then after they win, you're gonna accuse them. Oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah, and then after they win, you're gonna accuse them of not fighting the fucking best anyway. So there is no fucking win. The thing is, it's just like fans got to be honest with themselves and say, I want to see these fighters lose. Just say I want to see these fighters lose, so we don't have to hear you talk and pretend to care about the fucking sport. I just say I want Tank to lose. I want Haney to lose. I want Charlo to lose. I want all these people to lose for my own fucking personal reasons and move the fuck on. You know, because like everyone's telling me that Canelo guaranteed beats Charlo forever, and I'm like, okay, cool. I still want to see the fight though because I'm a legitimate boxing fan. Charlo can go in there and get decapitated in 5 rounds, and I'm like, okay, cool. At least the fight happened. But y'all are like, no, that's not a good fight for him right now. Like y'all his fucking personal goddamn PR manager. Like you're his fucking unpaid intern. The fuck? Like, bro, these guys are worth millions of dollars. They don't need you fucking scheduling their fights for them. Oh no, that fight don't make no sense right now. He should go over and fight some here because he could do this and he could do that. Like I have never in my entire life seen a bunch of people more concerned about where Cambosa's next fucking fight is, bro. People keep talking about
They didn't
oh,
even give a fuck about the guy not too long
literally,
ago.
literally, they're talking about oh he needs to go fight in Australia. First of all, for fucking what? Second of all, he's had no problem fighting in America like 3 out of his last 5 fights, including this one. So why the fuck all of a sudden is it imperative he fight in Australia? Shit, they were supposed to fight in Australia, and Tiafimo used that as an excuse why he couldn't fight Devin any fucking way. And lo and behold, that bullshit didn't even happen. So what the fuck does it matter where he fights next? See, Cambosa's the A side now, so Haney gotta bow down and do what he say. It's like you're already prepping the bullshit because you don't want the fucking fight to happen. All that A side, B side bullshit. These are two champions. One got more belts. One makes more bread. Come together and see what the fuck happens. And the only reason y'all want that bullshit fight in Australia is so when Haney outboxes the shit out of Cambosis, he can get the Pacquiao treatment and get his ass robbed. That's all. That's the only reason why where Cambosis fights all of a sudden fucking matters, and they fucking know it. So I'm like, again, just stop pretending to be a fan of boxing and come out and say, I just want to see Haney lose because I like Cambosis now because he got one good win and he happens to look a certain way. That's it. Just come out and keep it real. Why all the bullshit?
Pretending like they like Cambosis. They ain't never even heard of this nigga.
Literally, like Cambosis and Macaboo might have the most instantaneous overnight fan bases I've ever witnessed in my entire life. I have never seen a bunch of people hop on Google so fast and research who the fuck Macaboo is. Same with goddamn Cambosis. Everybody gave him no chance. All of a sudden, oh well, Cambosis is training with Pacquiao. He'll fuck around and knock out Haney like nothing. But then when I was like, okay, cool, so make the fight happen. Oh well, Cambosis the A side, so Haney better behave and do what he's saying. Maybe Haney needs to fight somebody else. I'm like, oh my god, like the panties be showing immediately. I don't know how two people, you know, Everybody says that Devin Haney and Jamal Charlo ain't shit. But I don't know any other fighters who have influenced so much political change in boxing in the last fucking 5, 6 years. For some reason, when you bring up these two people, all the rules gotta change.
Always. Like you said, I have never seen anybody fucking vouch for Macaboo. Like, where did this even come from? Look at Macaboo fighting is mandatory for this Canelo fight. You know, what is Charlo them doing? I'm like, what? What type of shit is that? Shit, blah, blah, blah. This is fucking retarded. L Dog, what's up? Hell yeah. They like Macaboo. Macaboo, like, he's just so good. I mean, he's fighting is mandatory. I'm like, bro, what
Yeah,
the fuck?
he's fighting a mandatory he already knocked out. He's fighting a mandatory he's already knocked out.
Fake ass fans.
Yeah, it's fucking it's beyond nuts. And the thing is, like for example, people like L Dog, I don't personally like too much, but he admits his bias, so you know that you don't have to take him seriously when he's talking boxing. He admits that he's openly the way that he is, so you don't have to really take him serious in any form of legitimate discussion. He's gonna say I'm biased toward fighters that are not black and mostly white, and therefore that's how my brain works. Okay, cool. That's why people don't block L Dog immediately because he's open about what he is and who he is. The rest of y'all need to cut the bullshit and keep it real.
Exactly.
Yeah, like people think.
Exactly.
See, look at L Dog. He's like, I want to see Triple G versus Charlo. Yeah, I mean, I know he thinks Triple G wins, but Triple G don't even think Triple G wins, or else the fight would have, or else he would have been pushing.
Right. At least he wants the goddamn fight to happen.
Yeah, yeah, that's a boxing
Other
fan.
fans on some, yeah, he just wins. He wins not even being there. You know, he just wins. So we don't need to see it, man. That logic will forever be funny to me, man. So I don't know if GGG does win, but he's old. Yeah, he old now. He old when he know he got an ass whooping coming. That's when he old. Motherfuckers always get old overnight. I tell you that. Oh shit! There you go. There you go. There you go. Good stuff right there. But she said it should be good though, man. I don't even think Canelo. I mean, I don't even think Triple G's gonna get his fight with Murata in fucking New Year's, because they talking about some COVID, new strain,
Yeah, they're
new
talking about
strain.
canceling the
And
fight
that's
and
why.
taking
And if
Japan.
somebody said is that the reason why they're already setting Andre to fight this mandatory, because they know that Triple G may not be able to fight Murata.
They have been grooming Janabek at Top Rank for at least a year and some change now to be able to take out Andre through the WBO route. And I'm okay with that because I think Andre wins. The thing that bothers me is that the whole appeal of this fucking fight was supposed to be that it happens in Japan because of the crazy Japanese fan base, and now they're talking about bringing it over to America in case shit don't pan out. So I'm like, as opposed to having one of these dumbasses fly to the other one's country, why not just get an American who's fresh off a fight and can probably make weight? Oh, right, because he might fuck around and lose. And Triple G, his existence in and of itself. You know what's crazy? If Andrade wasn't black, his story would be just like Triple G. Some guy at 160 that's heavily avoided and has to defend Mandos because no one wants to fight him. The difference is the people that allegedly avoided Triple G were washed fucking welterweights with a string of losses at the end of their goddamn careers. Motherfuckers that are supposed to be the Terminator are out here avoiding Andrade. People want to talk about, oh, Miguel Cotto and Mayweather didn't want to fight Triple G. Mayweather was at 154 and Cotto was at the end of his goddamn rope and fought a guy who beat fucking Triple G. So how the hell Cotto duck? Like none of the shit y'all be saying be making any fucking sense. Just say I do not like black and move along, so we don't have to fucking hear you. They're like, oh, Cotto ducked Triple G by fighting Canelo. All right, bruh. And then they want to talk about Sergio Martinez or whatever, Duck Triple G. Okay, no, Matt M. That's what I'm saying. That's why the whole Murata fight is bullshit. I agree, T. Yeah, that's why the whole fight is bullshit. They're talking about, oh, we're gonna maximize the fucking Japanese crowd. I'm like, no, Triple G is getting a fucking. They elevated Murata so Triple G wouldn't look like a bitch, so he could have something to do and get some retirement bread. And also, since we're talking about Mandos,
Barada got whooped by a nigga from our hood.
literally, and since we're talking about Mandos, they mandating all kinds of shit. Where's Murata's mandatory, and where the fuck is Triple G's mandatory? Triple G, the first two slots for the IBF are fucking open. So where the fuck is his mandatory at?
It's like, why is black fighters always got to fight tough mandatories?
Yeah, and the thing is, the black fighters mandatories are always extremely tough. But the worst part is that, for example, let's take Janabek. Everybody, okay, yeah, I'm glad L Dog said this shit. Watch this. So L Dog, they have $132 million to spend on the event. That means not only do they have to pay the fighters and the promotional company and the sanctioning fees out of all that, they got to get the venue, the food, the security, the seating, everything. That doesn't mean purses. Individual fighters in the United States can make $100 million off of one fucking fight, and that's not even including the fees that you need to hold the goddamn event. So that statistic proves why this is a dumbass fight. We have individual fighters in the United States that can make $100 million off of one fight, and that's to them. Plus pay-per-view, plus sponsorships and all that nonsense. So the fact that they only have $132 million to fuck off on an entire event literally proves why Japan is not the spot. So it's like y'all keep.
Good thing fucking Midwest Boxing ain't on here, because he used to try to argue me to death that America is not the home of boxing anymore. It's the Middle East.
Yeah, he can say that, but the thing is, then why does everyone want to come here? 3 of the 4 sanctioning bodies in the world are not even in the United States, but all those people need to come here to make it. That says everything you need to know. People didn't even know who the fuck, and Murata's another one. People didn't even know who the fuck Murata was until the WBA decided to elevate him. All of a sudden, everyone's a fucking Murata expert, and they can recall his pay-per-view numbers for his last 15 fights. Oh, right, those motherfuckers have barely been on pay-per-view. This is what the fuck I'll be talking about, man. Y'all just be talking.
My dude Max, he says, well, look at him and look at them unifying. Why doesn't Charlo unify? That's his big thing to boost Triple G up, is that Triple G is unifying.
Yeah. I understand Japan is, and honestly, Japan isn't even the home of that, because Mexico has a lot of good ones. America got a few, one that's unified at 122, so they're not the home of it, I'd say. I mean, they got what? Because Kazuka Ioka.
But anyway, y'all stop pretending like y'all give a fuck about belts now?
Well, that's the thing. When it depends on who the fighter is. One fighter gets credit based off of belt snatching. The other fighter gets credit off of who they're fighting. People can't decide if belts matter or opponents matter, because people forget Charles Martin was a champion at one point. Prince Charles Martin, he was a fucking champion at one point. Like, so, Triple G at one point had a WBA regular and an IBO, defended them faithfully, and was classified as the Terminator. You can't even remember who Triple G got his original legitimate WBA strap from without fucking Googling. So is it really the belt or the ops, or it just depends? People's perspective changes based on who they're fucking fighting. Because my thing is the logic is both Andrade and Charlo are undefeated champions because they haven't fought anybody and they both suck. So what the fuck would they get from fighting one another? It'd be a unification, but they're both already champs and they both suck. So you would just say, well,
they both don't deserve a Canelo fight. Canelo's not guaranteed in the contract. Maybe if y'all did that, maybe if y'all said, Canelo said, you know what, instead of saying Charlo's or saying what's his name is boring, whatever, how about he just put in the contract that, hey, the winner of Andre versus Charlo, I will fight them. Why was that never an option?
Yeah, bro. It doesn't make any sense. Sorry, I'm gonna log off my Twitter for a minute. I'm gonna cook this dude later. I got people on Twitter saying that Lomachenko didn't duck Haney, and and they're using the typical nonsense. They're saying, oh, well, you see, because Top Rank wanted to do this and that, and I'm like, I understand that,
Yeah,
but
now they blaming Top Rank like what's his name don't have no fucking say so if he loses a fucking belt.
Suleiman has literally come out and said that Lomachenko's a fucking liar, that Top Rank petitioned it. And they're saying that and this asshole is literally saying that, oh, the WBC and the Top Rank wanted to maximize profits. The WBC gets paid no matter who has the fucking belts. This is how I can tell y'all just don't know what the fuck y'all be talking about. And y'all want to live in this magical reality. The WBC gets their money regardless of who the fuck has the belts. So what the fuck the WBC got to do with the boxing earnings? It's just saying dumb shit to make yourself feel fucking better. Like for example, the people like L Dog defend Triple G's duckery because he's old. I can respect that. It's very difficult to get your ass whooped when you're almost 40. I understand. If you come at me with logic like that, at least I won't get pissed off. But when you start saying dumb shit like, oh, the WBC wanted to maximize profits with Lomachenko and Teofimo, what the fuck the WBC got to do with the damn fight? They're going to get paid no matter who holds the belts. They didn't have to give a franchise champion any bullshit. They could have let Lomachenko and Haney fight. Or no, it was originally supposed to be Teofimo and Haney fight each other, and then the winner of that gets fucking Lomachenko versus Campbell winner. That's it. It's that simple. But then you have to do mental gymnastics to explain some dumb shit. And I'm like, fuck, man. Like, people be really listening to you. Like, the truth is very short and sweet. If you have to, like, type a paragraph of bullshit to try to prove a point, you're probably lying, bro. It's like when a bitch...
Instead of it being simple, they want to make you go through fucking hurdles to say, oh, well, the WBC and the WBC, this and that. And then the next moment, they'll trash the WBC and what they do. So it's bro, you cannot.
They all sound,
and that's my thing. Like these guys use the politics when it's convenient.
Honestly,
otherwise they hate the politics in boxing.
Whenever these dudes try to defend the WBC, defend Canelo, defend Triple G, you know what they sound like to me? They sound like some bitches that just got caught cheating. Like if y'all watch if y'all watch the show Cheaters on it used to be on G4 TV, every time a bitch would get caught. Yeah, every time a bitch will get caught cheating, as opposed to just accepting the reality, looking at the footage and moving on and getting her shit out the house, she would always run a fucking mouth about how it was someone else's fault, and well, it wasn't me, and it was somebody else, and well, it's you, is that blah, blah, blah. Like, y'all all sound like some bitches, dog. Like, and it gets on my goddamn nerves instead of keeping it real, and y'all claim to know something about boxing. And people get that shit confused when they see somebody have a large following. Like, bro, I can make a burner account right now sucking Canelo and Tyson Fury dick off and have 1,000 followers next week because people don't like the goddamn truth. Entertaining casuals doesn't get you any credit.
My dude, I told you I got this dude that I just realized that I went to school with him. That's why he's always texting me. Well, he's a fucking major Canelo race fan. And he texts me all the time just to talk about how LaRaша this, LaRaша that. I'm like, man, you see, and that's what it's really all about, man. That's what all it's really about. Canelo's representing her people, man. And why not have the person representing your people be on top and not question them? That's why I feel like that goes into what Reynoso says all the fucking time. Whenever you question Canelo, you're basically questioning Mexico and all that shit, man. Shit's crazy, man.
Yeah, it's funny because they say all that, but they can't refute anything that we're saying with counter evidence. Provide us with links and other evidence, and the thing is, like I said, if they were just honest about the situation, at least we could all approach it from a mutual standpoint of understanding. If Suleiman and Reynoso came out and said, listen, we want to create a platform where we can put Mexican fighters in a position to succeed, because if we match them incorrectly, they're going to get demolished early, like history has shown. Then it's like, okay, that's bullshit, but at least we could approach it on some real shit, on some man shit. Now, well, to be honest, resume, and they need to fight some other people, and they should just leave Canelo alone, and he can do whatever he wants. Blah, 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 blah. Like one of the biggest things is Canelo's the cash cow. He can do whatever he wants, right? Okay. Tank is the cash cow below 160. He can do whatever he wants. well, no, Tank is different. He needs to actually do something.
He
Oh,
needs to
fuck.
unify and be undisputed, and not fight for a regular belt. I mean, he can fight for a regular belt. It just, they
And
just don't know what the fuck they want to do, man. It's like,
they don't know what to
and then
say
when
because
when when Tank says, "Man, I'm kind of like Canelo," they get upset, hella upset.
it's true. And it's funny because these same people were not pushing Canelo to unify when he fought fucking 5 catchweight fights to avoid 154. There was a bunch of juicy ass champs sitting at 154 fighting each other, holding belts, and they let Canelo peacefully sit at 155 and do absolutely nothing, beating up a bunch of washed ass dudes that we either never heard of or came up from 140. Where the fuck was the pressure to unify then? There was no talk about, he's chasing history. He's chasing history. Oh, no, he's beating a bunch of people at the end of their goddamn rope. He's fighting James Kirkland and Gulo Khan and some other motherfuckers. Who the fuck else did he fight? He fought Kirkland. He fought Laura and Gulo, Kirkland, Khan, Cotto. And Laura was the only one that wasn't washed, which is why he lost. So people would just be talking
A
all
lot of
this shit,
people
man.
feel
I'm
like
like,
he
yeah,
lost that fight.
yeah, it's like just say I'm changing the standards based on who it is. Again, this is why L Dog doesn't get blocked by a lot of people because he openly admits I am biased toward these people. That's why. So at least we could talk about it from a mutual understanding of some man shit. Whereas the other ones, they actually try to make this fucking just mental gymnastics real. It's not real.
So what's good, Art man? Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. We got fucking 18 people up in here. We just cooking, man. Look, the topic was JoJo Diaz. I don't know. We switched to Canelo somehow. Um, but speaking of the WBC and all that shit and Canelo, when JoJo Diaz or if JoJo Diaz wins, if he wins, is he winning a email champion or email belt, or is he winning a regular belt, a regular WBC belt?
It will eventually convert to a real WBC belt simply because Jojo Diaz had to quote unquote fight somebody for it. But when Lomachenko received the franchise belt that he didn't have to fight anybody for, that is a real belt also. So again, it just depends on who's fighting. If Jojo Diaz wins, the belt will become real. If Haney retains it, the belt will be nothing.
Even though he's and my thing is, if I was Devin Haney, I would be suing the WBC right now, right the fuck now. You want to know why? Because they're still going out here telling people that whoever holds that franchise belt is undisputed. So what the hell do you have, Devin Haney, in your hand that you're paying money for? He probably not even paying money for it. That's why. If he was, shit. But who knows?
But the thing is, so what belts do Errol Spence Jr., Jamel Charlo, Josh Taylor, Oscar Valdez, Gary Russell Jr., Stephen Fulton, Nonito Donaire, what belts do they all have? What belts do they all have? Did all their belts just get canceled? That's all I'm trying to figure out. Can someone tell me what belts do all those people have? WBC got a bunch of active champions, but apparently the strap ain't shit no more. So what belts do all those people fucking have? Anybody in the chat want to tell me? Or do y'all not know enough about the ongoing situation to actually articulate what's going on? Because I think that's more likely the answer.
If
Not
anything,
QT.
I actually rate JoJo Diaz. I mean, not JoJo. I rate fucking Devin Haney higher. You know why? Because he won his belt to me via forfeit. That's what I say. Not email. He won that shit via forfeit. I heard the same person y'all vouching for saying, "Oh, believe him, believe him." Mauricio Suleiman. Mauricio Suleiman said that Lomachenko he requested it. He requested the belt. And then Lomachenko reiterated and said, "No, it was top ranked." Oh, so you mean you were complicit in this? You knew exactly what was going on and you didn't stop it.
Yeah.
Why is that?
It's just there's a bunch of inconsistencies in the logic. When certain people are in line to beat other people, all of a sudden the rules got to change. There was no need for a franchise championship until one situation happened. Then all of a sudden the rules got to change. Like the franchise championship didn't even need to fucking exist. Like at least with the WBA super situation, the regular champ would get a shot at the fucking actual the super. But with the WBC, it's whatever they fucking say. It's whatever they say it is that week. It's just whatever they say it is. People keep talking about the rules and regulations. No, it's whatever the WBC is that week. There are no
Because if it was really up to rules, I'm gonna keep it 100. Gary Russell would have been stripped.
right.
Because you have 90 to 120 days to defend your WBC belt. That's in the rules on their PDF of the rules.
And that should tell you that the WBC isn't operating to any sort of standard because they're letting Gary Russell get away. They're changing they're changing all the rules with this franchise situation. They're saying that the WBC straps aren't valid, but then they have a bunch of active champions, and this is why Suleiman has to keep going back and forth about Lomachenko and Canelo. Like, oh, did they request it? Did they not request it? One day it's they requested it, the next day it's they didn't, because he's a fucking liar. They're all lying. When you have to consistently change your story because new narratives are coming out to question it, you're a fucking liar. That's it.
Why only fucking Lomachenko and Canelo get it? Why Gary Russell and fucking Wilder at the time didn't get that shit?
No. Don't forget Estrada, because Estrada down there in the sperm weight classes, he got one too to protect his ass from
But they don't
from
even talk
Sarungbi's
about
side.
that shit because they just know it's bullshit.
Yeah, because Sarungbi's side already beat his ass once, and they don't want him to lose again, so they can get that dumbass him and Chocolatito running it back for the 15th time, and they don't want to let Sarungbi's side get his respect. So yeah, they're protecting. Yeah, so it's not even it's a bunch of people getting fucked over. Yeah, Estrada's ass got one. Cambosa's now got one. Tiafimo had one. Lomachenko got one. Canelo got one. So yeah, no, Estrada punk ass down there. His ass got one too. Oscar Valdez might get one at some point because the walls are closing in on his ass.
But you know what? I don't even like saying the walls are closing in anymore because the minute you think the walls are closing in, they come with a whole new tactic to open that bitch right back up.
Yeah, they
I
want.
really thought Canelo was fucking locked in with this. He got to fight Benavidez or Charlo next, or Andre, or he just gonna be looking crazy. Hell nah. They said nope. We gonna pull that Macaboo out your ass out of nowhere, left field on a nigga. And you know what I noticed? I said, dude, I wouldn't be surprised if this was the plan all along, because they moved this Bridgerweight shit, which changed the weight limit for cruiserweight.
No.
Man.
No. Bridgerweight already had a champion before the cruiserweight limit was adjusted. The moment Canelo decided he wanted to compete at cruiserweight, that's when it adjusted. Because I watched the Rivas versus Rosicky fight. I remember because I was on here while I was watching it. So Bridgerweight was already established. That moving the weight class down shit, that didn't happen until after Bridgerweight already had a champion. People keep saying the two events are connected, and I'm like, then why the fuck didn't they happen at the same time? So you telling me?
Like
So I'm like, you telling me the week Canelo decided to go up there? Oh shit, we forgot to adjust the cruiserweight limit because Bridgerweight. Hold on, let me move this shit, dude. Like, stop. Like, that's not how the shit works. Like, they think these people just, we just forgot to adjust the limit. Let's go adjust it now. Like, no, that's not how it works. Not how.
No, my thing is, I'm saying I feel like they already had this in play to change the weight class for Canelo.
Oh yeah, probably. But remember when everyone hated Bridgerweight when they thought it was for Wilder. Now that it's for Canelo, those same people are like, "Oh, Bridgerweight's good for boxing." Bridgerweight is what boxing needed all this time. Yep, Bridgerweight.
Canelo's about to win, bro. I don't get it, man. I really don't get it. Because one day y'all say y'all don't give a fuck about belts. Now y'all saying Canelo's chasing legacy. It's better fucking. Like, bro, like, what does it say about your legacy that you openly ducked the people that the fans wanted you to fight? Like, bro, nobody in. I told people, I said, man, you can put a list right now or right after the Caleb Plant fight, and the list could have contained Bivol, Andre, fucking Better Beef, Charlo, motherfucking Caleb Plant rematch. fucking who else? Benavidez. It could have had all of that people on the list, and then also McAboo. I guarantee it. Nobody would have choose fucking McAboo. Not at all.
Most
Not
of
at
the
fucking all.
most of the McAboo experts right now didn't know who he was, and the reason why I was so heated was because I'm someone that watches cruiserweight boxing in the post Usyk era. Like I've been watching McAboo's career, like Breedis and all those people mixing it
And they
up, and
say, well, you guys don't even know who that is.
yeah, no, I've been watching his career, and that's why I know when it comes to Canelo, he ain't shit. Especially a Canelo that's juiced. I mean, he got laid to rest by Tony Bellew. He has no step up fights, and I mean, he hasn't won a single step up fight, and his titles came from vacants. People make a big deal about people competing at vacants, but McAboo's titles came from fucking the vacant.
Didn't he
Shit.
fight that dude in Russia on the card for that belt?
Yeah, and he damn near lost. He was getting mocked for most of
And
the
he
fight.
damn near lost. I remember that shit.
Yeah, it was Pappin.
And
Yeah,
I
so
remember
people
because that nigga got a head that you can't forget.
right, it's a fucking peanut. You got a giant peanut head ass motherfucker. Yeah, man, but it's just people change the standards. Like basically, it's you like all these people are now good because they lost to Canelo because we need to make Canelo look good. That's it. If Charlo or fucking Andre went to 168 and went on the same run, do you think they'd be getting any respect?
Fuck no.
And you know
They
what's
said
funny?
Andre on the same run. They
Yeah,
said, what about Andre in this European tour? Say, shout out to Art, man. Shout out to you, man.
Aaron Rand's fist. We gotta talk, man. We gotta talk on Twitter. I like Aaron Rand, but right now I'm in a dispute with him and this other dude because I'm trying to get them to articulate to me how Lomachenko did not duck Devin Haney. But I'm not mad about the situation. I just want to hear the perspectives about how they're saying that Lomachenko didn't duck, especially when Suleiman sold Lomachenko's out publicly and said him and his promoter got together and petitioned to get the franchise title because they weren't thinking about giving it to anybody but Canelo at the time. So like why like because you're saying that he didn't duck, but how come the franchise title only gets bestowed upon people when they're in danger of a dangerous mandatory? Like it only got bestowed upon Canelo when Charlo came into the picture. It only got bestowed upon Lomachenko when Haney came into the picture. It only got bestowed upon Estrada when fucking Sorong Visai came into the picture. Why are they being strategic with the franchise bullshit? Like, so y'all saying it's not a duck and Lomachenko had no control. Again, that's like when the fucking somebody said, oh, I wasn't asking for him to come over. He just came. It's like, dude, use the same logic in your regular life and live like this. Live by this logic in life. Just like when people say Tyson Fury is not a fucking cheater, despite the fact that he's been banned for cheating. Okay, cool. When you catch a woman cheating on you and you got her dead to rights, you use the same logic. Oh well, clearly he would never do it again. She would never do it again. So we're good. Like if you applied the same logic y'all be using in boxing to your regular fucking life, y'all would be fucking dead. Like none of this shit makes any sense. Like you guys are trying to invent bailouts for people who don't fucking deserve it. Like it doesn't make no sense. Yeah, I agree, Jason. Canelo has all the advantages, and he's never going to lose unless someone puts him to sleep. Much like Tyson Fury. L Dog, he dropped the link. Where you go? L Dog. See how quiet they get on the set? They talk all this goody good, and all of a sudden, it's.
No, my shit started tripping. What's going
Okay.
on, man?
No, yeah, what's up? L Dog was talking about drop the link. You dropped the link, and all of a sudden he ain't show up.
You know, you got a Proud Boy meeting to go to.
I'm like, all these people talking all this trash. You post the live talking about debates, and ain't nobody will show up.
And they know me. They know my page. Some of these dudes got notifications for me. I know it.
Yeah, so what's up with it? I'm fucking, I ain't fucking. I mean, shit. I mean, honestly, full disclosure, I was actually in academic decathlon in high school. So you want to talk about actual debating? As long as you don't scream and your points are cogent, we can go ahead and go at it.
Right. Tell these niggas you a street nigga, but you're educated.
Right. Yeah, I'm not a fucking dummy. It's just simple. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I support black fighters and everything, but I'm able to call it like it is. Like, for example, Tank dug Devin Haney. I have no problem saying that. Tank ducked the fuck out of Devin Haney, and for good reason too, because I have Devin Haney being able to outpoint Tank. So it's like, don't get it twisted. You know, I can say what it is. I can be biased, but I can also say what it really is. But that's the shit they be on though. They be like, oh well, shit. Black fighters are avoiding black fighters, so we all better avoid them. Then shit, that's crazy.
These
That's exactly.
these
That's
motherfuckers
exactly.
looking at it like a team sport though.
Yeah, yeah. So that's exactly what they be saying. Be like, oh shit, you know, they ducking each other, so we need to stay away the fuck clear. No, nobody want to fight him. But yeah, but I don't mean to get too far, but I think it is gonna be solid. Like I said, I think that Diaz only hope is to get in, get super dirty, and hope for either a lucky punch knockout or a disqualification or no contest due to a headbutt. That's it. Because the him outboxing, Jojo Diaz has never showed extreme separation in the boxing department. Because
Gary
people,
Russell was getting on his ass with speed, man. I was watching it. I said, "This is how he got him. He got him with that speed, and he was throwing combinations that JoJo wasn't even ready for."
but also
Um,
Gary Russell shows separation as a pure boxer. People think because a motherfucker turns southpaw, they're automatically this boxing genius. It's like that's not how this shit works, bro. Like for example, Triple G is orthodox for the most part, right? People just say he's a pure puncher. Motherfuckers like Janabek turn southpaw, even though I don't think he's a natural lefty. They're like, oh, he's a pure boxer. No, just because you switch sides doesn't mean that you go from one style to the next. There's nothing super dynamic about Janabek. He's just the East Euro guy that turned fucking southpaw. Same with JoJo Diaz and fucking Fortuna. They're just dudes who turn southpaw. That's it. Nothing about them says, oh, pure boxing skill. Especially when we're talking about Haney here. God damn, I can't stand that. Motherfuckers go, oh, he's a pure boxer because he turned southpaw. Fucking again, Casamayor was a southpaw, one of the most robotic motherfuckers in the game. So stop it. Being a southpaw doesn't automatically mean you're goddamn slick.
so, with that being said, are you ready to sign up for justice for Teofimo Lopez?
The fuck you need justice for?
Because you know that man won 11 rounds to 2.
Oh right. Oh god.
That's how you know that nigga was concussed. Nigga, you talking about 13 rounds?
Shit. And it's crazy because I was one of those people that had Teofimo winning by split decision. And you know, honestly, the beating got so bad. I was trying to convince Teofimo to keep his hands up and throw some fucking punches because I was like, this shit is one sided as fuck. I was like, this ain't even entertaining. I'm literally just watching Cambosos abuse this man. Like Teofimo looked like he was getting beat at the house. This looked like his dad was taking a belt to his ass. He was in there looking like he was getting ready to cry.
Cambosis fucked him up. And I was saying it. Dude, bro, it don't even feel real. I was like, bro, I was literally telling people how it was going to go down. And it went down exactly like that. It's
You
because I
did.
seen it, bro.
You did. Like I said, I admit I was like, you know what? I think it's going to be solid and competitive, but Lopez got enough to pull out with the split decision, and I fucked up. I was wrong. And honestly, I thought the 10th round might have been the stoppage, but Lopez was so scared from the previous 9 rounds of ass whoop, he didn't even want to go in for the kill.
You see how I'm not on Twitter like, you guys are wrong. All you guys wrong. You're wrong.
Right, right. I was literally one of the only people outside of Midwest on boxing Twitter that had fucking Kiko Martinez stopping Galahad. I didn't go around to all the dumbass UK fans and be like, "Oh my god, you don't know boxing." That's bitch shit. Y'all get predictions wrong all the time. Look at fucking Josh Kelly, Josh Warrington, and all those fucking people. Y'all were dead wrong about all those because all those were fucking complete upsets. Nobody goes around
Speaking
talking
of
about.
Josh Kelly, did you, bro, Virgil Ortiz don't want to fucking fight Abenesian?
Mm-hmm.
What?
And keep in mind, people, Virgil Ortiz Jr. has been the WBO number one for Terrence Crawford's belt and the WBC number one for Spence belt for the better part of a year. Now, I know the Spence situation because Spence got a heel up and he talking about Ugas ass, and that's cool. But he let Sean Porter go ahead and do that while they was over there trying to negotiate with green beans as opposed to actually fighting Terrence Crawford. And I now understand why they don't want Avanesian, because Avanesian was supposed to be just a tester and a step up for Josh Kelly. Avanesian fucked around and fucked up their whole plans.
Because they were trying to make fucking Conor Ben versus Josh Kelly.
No, Avanesian.
No, I'm saying no. Oh, I'm saying like Avanesian was supposed to just be like a little fucking cakewalk for Josh Kelly, and then they're gonna make uh Josh Kelly versus fucking Conor
versus.
Ben.
Oh, okay, yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, he was supposed to be a stepping stone, and he fucked around and pulled the upset. They see that and they're like, shit, we don't know if we want to put Virgil Ortiz in that situation because we know Avanesian ain't gonna get in there and lay down.
Because even though Virgil Ortiz will fuck around and win, he will probably look bad in the process, probably get dropped in the process.
Well, hey, Josh Kelly was supposed to win too, and Josh Kelly was winning every single round against Avanesian until he wasn't. And then people say that, oh, Avanesian stands no chance because he got cooked by green beans and Virgil Ortiz cooked green beans. Okay, great. These are the same people that tell you to abandon triangle theory.
Theories, yep. Same people. Same
Virgil
fucking people.
Virgil Ortiz Jr. and Avanesian fight in almost the same way, except Avanesian has worse defense and a slower jab. I'll give him that. But the thing is, if they're both exchanging in the pocket, only one of them has fought Sugar Shane Mosley, despite him being old. Only one of them has busted a motherfucker's head clean open with some punches. And they saw that, and Virgil Ortiz's team is like, shit, we don't know we want to put him in the middle of all that right now, especially while we're this close to trying to figure out the title situation. So Avanesian is what they call a spoiler. He can fuck around and accidentally spoil your plans. So that's why they're like, we gotta figure out how we gonna move him, but we don't want this.
And they're not even gonna like, and the fans don't even question it. They're not even saying anything like, bro, Ortiz, what are you doing, bro? You know, why you not fighting this guy?
No, those motherfuckers are saying that Crawford's ducking Virgil Ortiz. I'm like, bro, Virgil Ortiz could have pushed for Crawford before they started negotiations with Green Beans, because it was already number one. Crawford talking about, go ahead. I think Crawford said something about going to fight Green Beans, but I'm like, the WBO doesn't give a fuck about Crawford. They care, like, the WBA don't care. They don't give a fuck about assigning a motherfucker a hard ass Mando like Virgil Ortiz Jr. So go in there and fight him then. I'm like, no, because Crawford's not old enough. You'll fuck around and get stopped with your no head movement having ass.
But my thing is, dude, there's no fucking, bro. I feel like even at 35 or 36, I still feel like Crawford will whoop these dudes' ass.
And he would, especially
because it's not like he going in these fights and almost getting stopped and barely making it out. It's fucking fresh every time he leave.
Yeah, and keep in mind, and I don't want people on the table like, oh my god, you hate Virgil Ortiz Jr. No, I have said multiple times on this show that to me, Virgil Ortiz Jr. is the reincarnation of Juan Manuel Marquez with none of Juan Manuel Marquez's flaws and Provodnikov levels of pressure. That's a massive compliment considering where Virgil Ortiz is in his career. But he is one-dimensional. And his leverages as a fighter prevent him from having multiple fighting styles. You have to understand that someone's natural leverages, height, reach, etc., prevent them from being able to do certain shit. And he fights in the way that he fights because he's the most successful. And that's going to be his downfall. Because if you look at the people I named, they fought in the same manner no matter what. They were excellent boxers, but because of their leverages, they couldn't adjust to different sorts of challenges. That's what makes people like fucking like Tank so dynamic. That's what makes Jaron Ennis so dynamic, because their leverages are just right, where Tank is really compact and Jaron Ennis is really lengthy, where they can adjust to sort of different styles. Virgil Ortiz is like right in the middle. He's like average height. His torso and his arms are about the same size. So, it is what it is. And honestly, again, Virgil Ortiz Jr. has virtually no head movement. He comes at you standing straight up and almost square, so he can use both hands effectively. He'll fuck around and get stopped by Crawford, and his team knows that. And the thing is, Avanesian fights in the same exact way Virgil Ortiz Jr. does, except a little worse. So if they get into a gunfight, we don't know who's gonna win, and that just is what it is. Jason, you said once Dev develops some pop, his punches is gonna be right for everyone. I think that's gonna happen when he move up in weight. To be honest, I don't think he can develop any more pop because he has to keep cutting weight to get to 135. But once he start moving up in weight, yeah, I think some motherfuckers gonna start going to sleep or getting stopped to the body. That's some real talk.
So Ortiz having issues with Robert Garcia for a long time.
Virgil Ortiz is, I'm sorry, but he be capping sometimes, bro. Like he says that, I never turned down a Crawford fight. I'm like, right, just because negotiations never started doesn't mean you didn't pursue it either. You're the number one for the WBO and you're not pressing shit as a mandatory. Like if I was Virgil Ortiz Jr. right now, I'd be like, Crawford is my next fucking fight and I'm pressing him. But he's not. Crawford talking about retired ass Thurman. So it's like, you look bad out here, Ortiz. You look like some bullshit. If we're keeping it real. Because shit, Janabek is number 2 for the WBO. He getting names right off top. Virgil Ortiz is number 1. He ain't petitioning shit. He talking about, I don't want to fight Avanesian. So fight Crawford. He just fresh off a fight, and y'all can schedule it for next year. Okay then. What is you talking about? Oh, well, they talking about Spence. So I'm like, Spence is gonna get a Mando thrown on him, and he has to heal. Crawford and Spence is not next. Why do you think Crawford keep talking about some damn, like they haven't even started negotiations because they both talking about the bread. So it's like why you think fucking it's like why you think Crawford keep talking about Thurman and some other people. If that fight was next, they would only be talking about each other. But Crawford talking about all kinds of other folks. I don't know about the relationship between Garcia and Ortiz Jr., but it's not a terrible mistake to get away from Robert Garcia because Garcia has, his stable is known for only being able to excel to a certain point before they start losing. I feel like he's a very one-dimensional coach because a lot of his fighters fight in the same way. They do the come forward Mexican style and try to overwhelm you with punches to the liver and hooks, and then if that doesn't work and you can actually move your feet, you're pretty much going to beat him. So, yeah, getting away from Robert Garcia, I could understand because he's not going to get his game improved any. He's not going to develop that way. And when he comes up against pure boxers or people that can box and punch, he's going to get fucking annihilated. That's just what it is. Like that's why Boots is such a scary person because Boots can box you, but he can also hurt you very, very badly. And there's variances and losses. There's variance. So the reason why Sean Porter was still a quality opponent after 3 losses because he ain't never had his ass whooped. The reason why fucking what's his name? The reason why Cotto wasn't a marquee opponent for Canelo is because Cotto's had his ass whooped multiple times. So there are different levels to losses. Like people got to understand context. Yeah, that shit matters. So Jerome Hall. We gotta stop pretending like Virgil Ortiz is the same caliber Thomas Boots. Yeah, man. Like, and then people keep saying, "Oh, well, Virgil will smoke Boots." That sounds nice, but if that were true, Virgil Ortiz's team would be itching to get Boots in the ring. People don't understand. Easy fights get fucking made. Like Ricky Williams always say, easy fights get made. Samuel Vargas can keep getting fights. Adrian Granados can keep getting fights. Gabriel Rosado can keep getting fucking fights. Amir Khan can keep getting fights. Chris Algieri can keep getting fights. Why? Because these dudes are fucking beatable. Kell Brook can keep getting fights. Beatable. Fucking beatable. Like, easy fights get fucking made. Why is that so hard to goddamn understand? Easy ass fights get made. Hard ass fights do not get made. Shit, it's not rocket science. People need to stop fucking capping. Yeah, exactly, Jason. Virgil fucking straight up said that he was not ready. He said down the line in a few years, which basically translates to I want to try to get a belt so I can say that Boots Ennis doesn't deserve it, and then that's how we're gonna play that. Yeah, yeah. That's basically how it works. That's how it should work. Yeah, Virgil Ortiz Jr. Excuse me. Yeah, Virgil Ortiz Jr. His team know he wasn't ready, and his team knows he's not ready for Spence or Crawford. I don't give a fuck what injury Spence is coming off of. Spence will fuck around and beat up Virgil. Virgil Ortiz, and people keep talking about the experience factor. It's not about experience. It's not that a dog can't learn new tricks, but like they always say, there's levels. Then there's levels. If you don't have experience with people like Crawford and Spence, you're not going to get it until you fight one of them. I mean, yeah, at this stage in his career, yeah,
Can
it
you hear
is.
me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, man. Virgil Ortiz, you don't want no smoke with Earl Spence Jr. And
No,
look, why when it comes to Virgil Ortiz, they say he's not ready, he's still working. But when it comes to Boots, they're like, man, put him in there with Spence right now. Because they know the styles make fights.
and what's crazy is this is how I can tell people don't know boxing because let's say Boots get in there with Spencer Crawford and beat either one of them. That's bad for Virgil. That means even if Virgil gets a belt, he's on a path to an inevitable loss. Because if Boots gets in there and beats either Spence or Crawford, ain't nobody at 147 fucking with Boots right now.
Some of these
Nobody.
movies, they don't got heart like back in the day, man. Like, and I get it. They want to maximize profit before getting to a fight. They're gonna get knocked out.
But they don't understand that the maximization of profit is making the big fights. And look, how many times these fighters got to go through this? Teofimo Lopez just learned the hard way. Why you don't duck? You're gonna end up fucking around and losing to somebody you're not supposed to. Like for example, look at Virgil Ortiz and David Avanesian. They were afraid that this might be some shit like Teofimo Lopez, where he coming in, he not supposed to lose, and he fuck around and lose. Because David Avanesian has shown, I don't give a fuck who you are. You got some hot prospect that's undefeated, bring their ass. Bring their ass, and then we'll see. So,
And, and,
and
that, and that's the thing, Lopez, man. Like, he really fucked up because this could be his last fucking big fight. And it wasn't even the maximum. Like, dude, it's so dumb. It's like, dude, you got it to this right here, lost to George Kambosos when you could have fought and lost to Devin Haney. And if you lost to Devin Haney, you still could have went on to make a fight with somebody else big if you fucking held your own in that Devin Haney fight.
literally, even the people that hate Devin Haney expect Teofimo to lose to Devin Haney. So you don't look that bad when you lose to Devin Haney. When you're supposed to lose to somebody, you get respect. You lost to Kambosos, nigga.
He lost to George Kambosos, nigga.
People
Somebody that
even
nobody don't even know, bro. But they know him in Australia. Dude, man, Australia, I seen the paper, Australian paper. Oh my God, I would hate to be Teofimo Lopez and look at that fucking paper. Because they're
yeah,
clowning him, man. They making George Kambosos look like the biggest thing since fucking sliced bread over there.
because outside of fucking Tim Zoo and fucking Horn, that's all they have down there. Australia don't produce no world beaters. And keep in mind, Tim Zoo and Costa are Russians that live in Australia. They're not actually fucking Australian. So they barely have anybody. And keep in mind, Kambosos is Greek and lives in Australia. He's not even Australian his damn self. So Australia don't really barely produce jack shit as far as boxing is concerned.
But they like,
So
fuck it. We got his blood. We don't care.
yeah, and yeah, Round Boy Fresh, yeah, bro. His team knows he's not ready for Spencer Crawford, and he's probably never gonna be ready. They waiting on Spencer and Crawford to fucking fight each other or move out the division so Virgil could do something. But the thing is, like I said, if Boots fucks around and gets a belt, they're not gonna have undisputed if Virgil Ortiz and Boots get a belt, you'll never have undisputed at 147 because Virgil, they're not gonna put him in there because Virgil gonna get pieced up. And
Man,
Boots,
we can't keep on living boxing like this where you don't want the best fighters to fight the best. You want to bring up politics and say things like, oh well, he doesn't have to fight him. He's the man right now. Like, man, we need to cut that shit out. That's like Like when Ryan Garcia beat Luke Campbell, they're calling him the man, saying he don't have to fight Devin Haney and them. What the fuck? You remember
And
that shit?
yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, and like I was talking about when there's variance and losses, like not the thing about what makes Boots so dangerous is that everyone Boots fights they expect him to lose, but Boots has the amount of power where it's sort of it's a loss that can affect the rest of your career. It's like when Triple G fought Brooke. Triple G fought Brooke and like fractured his orbital and shit, and the rest of his career was affected. Boots can do that to you. That's why people are very careful about when and how they fight Boots because he can rearrange your entire career with a bad beating.
Is Boots does Boots chop on wood?
Oh, does he chop down wood? Shit, I don't know what they got him do chopping in Philadelphia, but he chopping something. He
I
chopping
think because
motherfuckers
I
down.
seen him train. I could have swore he was either chopping wood or he was hitting the tire with his sledge hammer.
Hey, both Muhammad Ali and George Foreman said chopping wood is the best way to develop strength, and they're two of the hardest hitters in the
That's what
game.
Ernie Shaver said.
Oh, Ernie Shaver's crazy. Yeah. So if all three of those dudes are saying it, then fucking Boots probably over there chopping some damn wood. I need to chop some damn wood so I can break the bag off when I go to the gym. Cause yeah, if Ernie
Said
Shavers,
Gambosis is gonna end up getting whooped. Yeah, but here's the thing. Now
nah,
that now that
Cambosos
the
ain't getting
ball's in their
whooped.
corner, now that the ball's in their corner, they're gonna treat George Gambosis like how they treat Teofimo Lopez, saying he can fight whoever, he don't need to fight whatever. They're gonna try to protect George Gambosis, bro. Even though
Mm-hmm.
he got that heart, it's not up to him. It's about the fucking team making that money.
And I was saying because everyone was like, "Oh, Cambosa's gonna do it. Cambosa's gonna do it," and then I was like, "Nah, we gotta see first. I'm not gonna say that he's just gonna man up because it's always different. It's always different when you get in the hot seat. You talking all this shit, and you might not make it past the next phase. You might not actually get the belt. But now that you got him and Haney's actually there, and you could actually make the fight, all of a sudden the energy switches. We gotta see what's right. Like, nigga, okay, this all sounds like a bunch of cap then.
But okay, my thing is too with this George Kambosos talk. I feel like they already setting the play up by saying, "Oh, if he wants to fight me, he has to fight in Australia," knowing that if Eddie Hearn and them or whoever wants to put out that much money to guarantee a Kambosos fight, they're gonna want to make the profit back. And how the hell they're gonna make the profit in fucking Australia?
They know Australia isn't the biggest market. They just know that they want to put Haney in a position where he has to get a knockout to win so they can rob him. That's basically it because everybody knows the biggest paydays everyone's got is in the United States. Like, for example, I'm talking to this one person and I'm like, you talking about, oh, people need to go fight in their homelands. That's where they have all the fans. Canelo Alvarez hasn't fought in Mexico since 20 fucking 11. Clearly, all the money is in the United States. So all this bullshit. Oh, he got to go back to Australia. He got to go back to Australia for what? I mean, sure, if he wants to go to Australia and fight, yeah, I think Haney should go to Australia and also fight him. But all this he has to nonsense, like stop the bullshit. Nobody gave
Why
a
come
fuck
y'all can't
where
just go to Vegas and make money?
exactly. No, nobody gave a fuck where Cambosa's fought until now. Now that Haney is in a position to actually fight him. And people are acting like Haney's the mandatory. Haney's just a champion in the division. He's not a Mando. Cambosos could easily not fight him. He doesn't have to unify, but that's just what he said he would do. So now we'll hold him to it.
But my thing is, they're talking about motherfucking what do you call it again? Australia. We don't even know if we're gonna be able to travel to Australia soon.
Right, with all this fucking variants and unicorn variant and cabbage variant and peaches variant, all this bullshit. Yeah, we don't even know if travel gonna be straight. And he talking about he going to Haney fight, but then people want to keep talking about some damn Tank. I'm like, dude, Tank don't give a fuck about no Camboses.
Hmm.
Tank do not care about fucking Cambosos, dog. Tank is not about to pay all that bread that's required to hold them belts down and be in a position where he got to fight a bunch of people to hold it down. Tank, that's not what Tank is doing. That's not what Tank
Hey,
is doing right now.
But
what's
what's
up,
going on
fellas?
with the brother Dirk Banks? What's going on, man?
What's up, fellas?
Hey, how you doing, man?
I'm good. So you think Tank wouldn't want that fight? I mean,
No,
that's a
I'm.
chance to be. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I'm not saying that Tank don't want it. I'm just saying
Mm-hmm.
that's not what he's gonna do. That's not what he's gonna do right now because number one, all the money that's involved with that. And number two,
Mm-hmm.
it's just gonna be one fight that he's just gonna fucking vacate. He ain't gonna hang around in the division to do a bunch of other stuff. So it's gonna be the Tank show real quick, and then he gonna vacate, and then everybody else gotta like refight each other to get the belts back.
Yeah, I mean, also Devin's been saying that he's been in contact with Cambosa, so he seems like a dude like that. A man of honor, whatever you want to call it. I
Yeah,
think he would.
Cambosis is, but it's not his team. I'm
True.
looking at the Sharks, what they're thinking, because they're thinking like, hold on, we just got this. We're not gonna let it go to Eddie Hearn within the next
Right.
couple months. They want to hold on to this. They might have him do. Bro, I would be surprised if they have Cambosis do like a homecoming fight against some bum first.
Yeah. Some Australian dude named Nigel Weatherford or some shit.
Yeah,
Then he,
Yeah,
Nigel,
eh,
whatever.
and Tank is a more dangerous fight. Like people keep talking, oh well, we don't know if we want to rush into Devin Haney. I'm like, dude, Tank fucking folds you.
but
I mean,
but Tank is
huh?
more lucrative though. Tank is a more lucrative fight in terms of money. The
No,
pay
real
per
talk.
view.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
down in Australia, that shit will have to be here.
Well, no, no, no.
True.
I was gonna say Tank is one of those people that if he hurts you, he can alter your career trajectory. So it makes more
Yeah.
sense to fight like a Lomachenko, and then or like you said, go home to Australia and defend a couple times to stack some more bread off of your popularity before you go into a Tank fight. Because if you go from Lopez to Tank right now, bruh,
Uh-huh.
like,
I think Loma probably the only one willing to go to Australia
yeah,
for his
Loma,
team.
absolutely. Loma don't
Yeah.
got nothing to lose. He got no belts. He barely has any popularity. Like,
Yeah.
oh
He's
shit,
from the
Sissy's in
Ukraine.
here. What's up, Sissy? It's funny. Sissy was talking all that shit. He was talking about he was talking
The
about
dick hive.
he was talking about meeting up somewhere. Like we was talking
Uh-huh.
about, oh, all the Twitter channels should have like a real boxing match, like a tournament. He said I'm
Yeah.
198 right now. I said, oh, you located on the East Coast? He didn't reply back. I'm like, yeah, that's what I thought. That's 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 what the fuck I thought.
Hey, my guy says, my boy Michael Johnson says, the business of boxing is not in Australia.
No, it ain't.
It's not because people weren't checking for Cambosis, bro. Dude, Australians were out there saying that Cambosis lost to Lee Selby, bro. Like
Damn.
people keep forgetting.
There's Cambosis saying, I mean not Cambosis, there's fucking dudes from the United Kingdom, not United Kingdom, Australia, in the chat saying things like, "Oh man, I'm from fucking Australia. I'm from Sydney, and I don't think George Cambosis is gonna win this fight at all."
Ex- exactly. People say he lost. People still say he lost to fucking Lee Selby. Oh shit, what's up, Obaro? Yeah, people keep saying that he lost to fucking Lee Selby. Australians be saying this. And honestly, to keep it 100, without the knockdown in the 10th round against Mickey Bay, he loses that fight too.
All the more reason why Styles make fights.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't think that his team, I mean, like I said, that's gonna be a short term cash out because if he goes in there and fights Tank and he gets like a cracked orbital or some crazy or like an uppercut from hell like Leo got, that's gonna be a
Yeah.
problem going into future fights. So if they're not gonna
Yeah.
fight Devin, because at least Devin just gonna outpunch you for 12 rounds, make you look like some bullshit, but you'll be able to fight again. Whereas
True.
Tank could severely damage you.
Yeah. Tank hurts you. He getting you out of there.
Yeah, and
Uh,
then your career might not be the same afterwards. Like
yeah.
a lot of the people Tank has fought, they haven't looked right since.
Right. Because
It's
he's
sad.
willing to trade.
Yeah,
He's willing to trade. Like I don't know if he want to do that with Tank, but we'll see.
yeah, So that's why I don't think they're gonna do all that. And honestly, I don't want Tank to do all that. Tank, stay your ass at 140 and do some other shit and go be productive somewhere else. This is Devin deserves this shit. It's time that we have a undisputed and that's how shit's going. So I don't
Right.
really care what Tank is doing. Go fuck around at 140 and do some shit, or go fight whack ass Keith Thurman or something.
Yeah. You know, I always be wondering why do these like you see like these white boxing fans they like they root hard for the Asian fighters. You ever notice that?
Well, it depends on who the Asian fighters is fighting for the most
In a
part. 'Cause
way, like they be like they call him like not call him like the goat or anything, but like they're really high on that dude. Like he's good, but like
Yeah.
Does he deserve to be like top two pound for pound?
Yo, can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
They need to hype up in a way because the top five of the pound for pound list was looking too black. That's why. That's why. Because let me tell you, Inoue's best opponent had
Hmm.
5 losses and was 37 already, and he gets all the
Donaire.
credit. Yeah, he gets all the
Yeah.
credit in the world because he moved up and weighed a few classes. I'm like,
Yeah. Cause like let's
I'm
be
like,
real. In the yeah, real quick. In the history of boxing, the young lion is supposed to take care of the old guy.
right,
I mean, it's few instances like Floyd and Canelo, but that's because Floyd is once in a generation. But most of
right,
the time, the young hungry lion takes care of the older guy.
right.
So I don't know. I'm not sold on Inoue yet.
Because when
But
Donaire hit him, he broke his fucking orbital with a single glancing left hook, and he had to go to the hospital. I'm like, and
yeah,
keep in mind, his the reason why people suck his dick is because he's a 3 div world champion, and that's
yeah,
cool. But it also factors in who you're fighting, and they're just like,
right,
okay, he was fighting the best of the division at that time. I'm like, yeah, we
yeah,
can say that about multiple people that aren't on the pound for pound list to fucking date. I'm like,
that's true.
Maga Mel Charlo got the same number of belts as Inoue, but the difference
Yeah,
is like Inoue's third belt is the fucking what the fuck is it? The goddamn Ring Magazine belt. Like
hmm,
I mean that's great, but it's I guess it's one of the four, but yeah no also
it's
Jamal
all
Charlo.
opinion.
Yeah, well yeah, and the thing is also is that Crawford is also a 3 division world champion plus undisputed, but motherfuckers got it saying in a way deserves a higher ranking than Crawford. Like how when
Right,
Crawford has accomplished the exact same thing plus extra.
right.
So it's like you got to make it make sense. If you're using that criteria, like oh fucking oh shit, yeah, if you're using that criteria, oh he's a 3 div world champion and he has 3 belts now. Okay, great. Crawford is a 3 div world champion, was undisputed, have 4 belts, and has a
Hmm.
championship now, and
I
he's fought better.
guarantee. Yep. And I
Yeah, go ahead.
guarantee if Figura or whatever his name is would have beat Fulton, they would have tried to put him on the pound for pound. But oh,
Immediately.
he's unified in his weight division. He's close to being undisputed. He should be at least 10 now on the pound
ASAP.
for pound.
ASAP.
Right.
Put that
Shit,
motherfucker on there
Fulton should be
ASAP.
touching that. Yeah.
They're not gonna do it because you see that's what happens. First, they don't rate like when it comes to black fighters, they don't rate you at all until you lose to someone that's not black, and then that person gets elevated off of your fucking name. That's why.
And
That's what like
yeah.
watch what happens with Janabek. If Janabek fuck
Yep.
around and beat Andre, it's gonna be Andre was never good. Janabek's the man. He's P for P.
Yep.
But if Andre fuck
I
around
thought
and
I thought he
win,
was a bump. Apparently,
yeah,
not telling me he's a horrible fighter.
yeah, but if Andre fuck around and win, it's gonna be oh he beat another non-championship bum. It's like
That's
people have such short memories. For years, people were saying Mayweather ducking Canelo.
hmm
Mayweather went in there and made Canelo look like some bullshit, and then now they're saying oh he cherry picked Canelo. What the fuck? Okay,
they said the same thing about Mean Machine. It's like, oh, he's a bum. Crawford's cherry picking again. Then he dropped him, and it was kind of competitive. And then when it was Virgil's turn to fight him, oh man, this is a tough matchup for Virgil. Like,
right, right.
come on now.
That's why I keep calling them green beans because when Crawford was fighting
Yeah,
him, he was motherfucking green beans. But when Virgil fought him, he became mean machine all out of nowhere.
right.
So I'm like, nah, y'all stop all that damn cap.
Yeah, he's gonna have an easier time finding opponents than Boots because people just gonna see it as he's more beatable.
He is. He has no
Yeah,
head movement and he
yeah.
squares up on you. You can like Virgil is all open for anyone who throws a solid uppercut.
Right,
Virgil's
like
done.
Tio just proved that you're not gonna get far in this game if the most you can do is hit hard and fast. Like you gotta have more variety in your game. Like I'm not saying that's all he can do. He's got some skills, don't get me wrong, but he's more basic than Boots, is what I'm saying.
He's
Is what I'm
incredibly
saying.
one dimensional.
Yeah,
He does his style extremely good. But
yeah,
once you elevate past the B minus level, it's not gonna be enough.
right.
Like
Like Earl
you
doesn't get enough credit. Earl is not just some come forward brawler type mauler. Like he can keep distance. He's got a pretty good defense. He doesn't move his head or nothing, but he knows distance.
no, he doesn't move his head, but he bends at the waist when he wants to get away from you. That's
Yeah,
important. Yeah,
yeah.
Virgil Ortiz Jr. doesn't bend at all. And the thing is that people don't understand. what makes a person A level is not, what, like, when it comes to styles, it's not what they do. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, no, it's not necessarily who they fight or whatever. It's their abilities in total. Like,
Yep.
when you're dealing with someone like Errol Spence and Crawford, they have everything. They
Yep.
have power. They have a jab. They have ring IQ. They can bend. They can move their head. They can bend at the waist. They have agility. They have it all.
Yep.
That's why they're dangerous. Virgil Ortiz does not have it all. He has a
No.
good jab. It's not the best. He has no fucking head movement. Doesn't bend at the waist. His feet are slow.
Yep.
And when you graduate, you're going to get tested. And unless you get a lucky punch off, it's not going to work.
Right.
Like
That's
Boots,
true.
like people keep saying Boots gets hit a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, great. In his career, I've seen him maybe take 3 or 4 clean punches per fight. And when I say
Yeah.
clean, I mean they were executed cleanly, not that they landed cleanly, because a lot of shit, especially with Lipinets, he was rolling.
Mm-hmm.
Like people talk about Delorme landing 2 clean fucking hits that didn't even move Boots.
Yeah.
Green
That's true.
Beans,
Like he just ate that shit.
yeah, Green Beans landed that same fucking 2 piece on Virgil, damn near stopped him.
Yeah. The thing is, like, if Boots wanted to, he probably could be a boring fighter if he wanted to, and like just outbox you. But
100%.
he knows if he wants to, like, become that star, pay-per-view star, you gotta knock people out, which means you're gonna put yourself in the line of fire.
Yeah, you gotta smoke people. And the thing and
Right.
the thing and the thing that I
Especially as a
like,
black fighter.
oh hell yeah, exactly. And the thing that I like most about Boots and his team is that they're not the kind of people that's like, oh, okay, with this one, you got to try to get some rounds in, and da 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 da. No, no, no. They're
Hmm.
like, get the bullshit out the way, smoke them, preserve yourself, so we can make more money, get more fights, and when it's time for you to do rounds, if someone's getting, if someone's pretty good, then you'll do their
Yeah.
damn rounds. But the garbage, get them out the way early.
Right. And on top of that, he comes from a boxing family, like a lot of guys do, but like two brothers who box professionally. His dad boxed professionally, I believe. Like he dude's always in the gym. Like it's not like just like putting on for IG like that. I think that's all he does. And when he's not, you know, working, he's like helping other kids in the gym. So he's a gym
Hmm.
rat.
Yeah,
So
and and
what?
and 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 that's the thing. Like with Virgil, they're moving him like, okay, with this one, we want you to take your
Yeah,
time and pace yourself and get some rounds and da da da. I'm like, the fact that you're already at that mentality means that when it's
yeah.
time for you to graduate, that basically shows me that not
Hmm.
everything is there. You're not sure that he has everything. And once it's
Yeah.
time for him to
Also,
grad, oh,
yep.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, no,
Oh, I
no.
was
I
going.
think
Okay, I was going to say, uh, Robert Garcia said something like that's a red flag for me. Like talking about Virgil. He said that Virgil, he's gonna be a hard guy to beat because even if you can outbox him for 9 rounds, he's gonna eventually wear you out or take you out. I'm like, okay, well, what if he runs into that guy who can outbox him for 9 rounds and doesn't get worn out? You know? So
yeah,
like, but he's
and
saying that he gets outboxed a lot in sparring is what he's implying.
yeah, and I know the conversation you're talking about. He also said that Virgil Ortiz has like that angry spirit and all that good shit. And I'm like, that's
Yeah.
great, but what happens if Virgil Ortiz gets put to sleep? They're talking about, oh, well, they're talking about, oh, Virgil Ortiz has this angry spirit and he can fight. He has heart. I'm like, a lot of people had heart until they got put to sleep. Right. When you get to this level, almost everybody got heart. Yeah. So all that shit sounds good and it sounds nice and da 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 da, but it doesn't matter when you're fucking unconscious. When you're separated from your senses, your heart might still be beating, but you out of there. So let's stop the damn cap. This is boxing. Like I
Honestly, I
said, the
think
moment the oh go ahead. I'm sorry.
honestly, I think that Xander kid is better than
What? Who's better than him?
him. Xander.
Oh, Evander Holyfield Jr.
No, 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 no. Xander Zayas.
Oh, Xander Zayas. You think Xander Zayas is better than Virgil Ortiz?
I think so. You think I'm crazy for saying that?
No, 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 no. They're at the same level. Based on what I've seen so far, they're at the same level of development, and stylistically they're a little bit different. But like I wouldn't be shocked if Xander Zayas beat Virgil Ortiz Jr. But I favor Virgil Ortiz Jr. in that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
simply because Virgil Ortiz Jr. knows how to keep his hands up. He knows how to take a step. He knows how to take a step back, and he handles getting hit better. Xander Zayas, when he gets touched up, he kind of starts, fumbling and falling back a little bit. Whereas Virgil Ortiz can kind of play it off, play possum, and lure you in for the destruction. So that's why I say that. But no, you're not crazy for saying that at all.
Yeah, I don't know. I see something there. Xander.
Yeah. Xander is at welterweight or is he at 154?
He got 154.
Oh, okay. Well, shit. I hope Top Rank actually cuts him loose and tries to get some legitimate work for him. Because I mean, at 154, who does Top Rank have to even give to him at this point?
I'm surprised that the Charlo Diamond fight was immediately rematch. Like, I thought bullshit was gonna happen. Like, oh, you got to face your mandatory first, or you know. But,
Well, I mean, as far as my memory serves, Castano was the one. Castano was the one. I was up with you, Grease with Fire. Castano was the one talking about his mandatory, but then I think he found out his mandatory was fucking Tim Zoo and was like, shit, I might fuck around and lose that one. So let me go ahead and try to get this Charlo run back bread, maybe become undisputed and then do something else. Because Tim Zoo, I favor Tim Zoo to beat Brian Castano, to be honest. Keep it real.
MAGA Charlo, um, whatever you want to call him, he gets me like he making me mad. Like never goes to the body. Like he's just a headhunter. Like his brother to me is more skilled.
Yeah,
Mom.
that's what a lot of people say too.
Yeah, Mel never goes to the body. It's like always just headhunting. Like I feel like it makes him predictable.
Yeah, he just jabs and then tries to do hooks and maybe some uppercuts to the head, and then that's kind of pretty much it. Because Castano's body is wide open for business. Like with that
Yeah,
high guard, yeah. Shit, I hope so, Art. I hope he do fuck around and stop him because he had him wobbling a few times, but then Castano came back. Magamel didn't keep his hands up, and Castano had his ass twerking on them ropes. So I hope you're right. Oh, the 160? Shit, okay, 160.
you think Crawford could beat him at 154?
Crawford versus Jamel?
There's a couple guys at 147 that could wipe out 154 right now.
Yeah, I think Crawford beat. Yeah, that's not even the question. I think Crawford beats Jamel Charlie easily. Outbox Jamel. Jamel's a kind of a robot.
Yeah,
Jamel's a robot. He's a very jab centric robot. His primary tool is being able to fight well on the inside. His ability to loop his punches and his jab. Outside of that, nah. Yeah, now
he got a good point.
Crawford will get on his ass.
Yeah. What's his name? L Dog. Is he like a real white supremacist?
White supremacy is a strong word. He's just someone that he's just biased toward his
No,
people, and he's
yeah, I
honest
can
about it.
respect that.
Huh?
I can respect that.
Yeah, I mean, does he believe in the supremacy of white people? Absolutely. Is he a practicing white supremacist? I strongly doubt it because most of these guys don't have the courage to actually practice this shit where they can be found.
Yeah.
Mel versus Andre at once. Oof. Hey, I don't know if I want to put Jermel in that situation. He might get beat up. Damn.
Mel versus who?
Mel versus Andre at 160. That's rough. You trying to get Jamel embarrassed, dog.
I think Mel will be down for that.
I mean, I hope he'd be down because it's a belt, but shit, he might get his ass handed to him.
Yeah.
Fuck around and get your ass whooped. Yeah.
I
But who
don't
you
know.
got this weekend as far as JoJo Diaz and Haney?
I got Haney. I think he's gonna get him out of there.
I had the same weird feeling.
Yeah. Gonna be like Shakur, what Shakur did to Jabel Harris.
Because I'm thinking, because one thing I noticed in the Linares fight, Haney's been working on getting his left hand more active in the fight. And
Yeah.
I'm like, if he throws a looping left and then drops it down to the body just like Garcia did on Campbell, you could
Yeah.
get the same results.
Dev is low key an underrated body puncher.
Right? Yeah.
He actually hurt Linares at one point.
Multiple times.
Yeah. He has no power.
Yeah, he got no power, but him and JoJo Diaz got the same number of knockouts. And JoJo Diaz is a knockout puncher. Ain't that a bitch? But
Loma's the only fighter I know that's had like two losses and like people still put him in the pound for pound. Still think he beats everybody. Like I never
and
seen
keep
that.
in mind, he has two losses and no fucking belts, still pound for pound.
Right. Like okay, like nigga, it's a pound for pound, not your favorite fighter.
No, that's the pound. That's what the pound for pound is out. It's your favorite fighters in different weight classes. That's it. People
I'm
got
telling you, if
Usyk
you'd have
ranked.
beat Tio, if you'd have been winning all this whole time, they'd be ready to call him the greatest of all time. They already were at like 13-0.
They were making Ali comparisons when he had just come out the amateurs,
Right.
and people don't understand. I'm like, listen, they're talking about he won back-to-back gold medals. I'm like, look, if you're a guy that's already completed puberty and you got your fucking man strength, you can get another gold medal in the Olympics while you're beating up children.
Right.
So this is why he got to the pros fighting other grown men and started fucking struggling. He lost his second pro fight. He couldn't convince every judge he beat Gary Russell Jr. And then Tiafimo got on his ass.
Hell, Campbell gave him a tough fight, and you see Pedraza gave him like two. I wouldn't say black eyes, but like he was looking like a raccoon after the fight.
Yeah, Linares wasn't embarrassing him until Lomachenko got the stoppage because he knew he needed to stop Linares. Linares about to win.
Yeah, I think
Jamel
Ryan
did,
Garcia will be a tough fight for him because he can't handle bigger fighters.
yeah, and he can't handle if you have equal or greater hand speed.
Yeah, which Ryan does. Not skill wise, it's a huge gap, but Ryan's got that power, so he's proven that like he doesn't have the. I'm not gonna say he don't have heart, but like let's be real, he didn't want to engage with Tio for 6 rounds because he was scared of that right hand. He saw
Scared
what
shitless.
happened. Huh?
I say you scared shitless. Yeah,
Yeah, he saw what Tio did to Comey. Yeah.
yeah. It's funny because people talk shit about Wilder, but Teofimo Lopez, the only place he shows legitimate separation is what? His right hand.
Right. Pretty
People,
much. They,
people talk people talk shit about Wilder so much, and I'm like, bro, it's funny. The reason why Teofimo gets emotional about Wilder, I think psychologically, he knows that him and Wilder are more similar than they are different.
that's probably what it is.
That's why he that's why it's ironic that the universe put him in this situation because I'm like, damn, you were talking all that goody good shit about Wilder, and it turns out y'all have the same sort of issue.
If it's not something you would say to his face, I wouldn't say it. Like I doubt he would say that to Wilder's face.
Oh shit, hell no. He would, he would do. He couldn't even say shit to Devin.
Right.
Devin and Bill have been in his grill multiple times, and all he says is, "Well, where Bob at? What happened to the meeting with Bob? What happened to the meeting with Bob, bro?" Cambosis Senior grabbed his dad around the fucking neck, and he ain't do shit.
Right.
Both of them were just like, "You see what he did? You see how he touched me? You
I
see?"
remember. I remember he told Dev, or he was talking to some reporter. He's like, "Man, what's he gonna do? Just run?" Which he knows Dev will outbox the shit out of him. They've been sparring a bunch of times already, so they know what time it is.
And not to mention, Tiafimo, according to reports, his sparring has been garbage. He
Yeah, he
over
got
here,
knocked out by
he,
Rayo or whatever his name is.
yeah, El Rayo, yeah, he over here getting stopped by fucking booty
C
ass
class fighters.
prospects.
Yeah. Yeah, I watched that dude fight. He's nothing special.
Who, El Rayo?
Yeah, like he's all right. That's not somebody he should be getting knocked out by. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
it's just like oh, okay. It's a well, hold on. Our man wants me to read his comments. It says Charlo going to stop Castano. Charlo going to vacate after winning and go up to undisputed. Mel
Yep.
versus Andre at 160. Yeah, we already went over that. What do y'all think Charlo will do at 160? Well, Julius Judas says he'll do pretty okay. I think he'll do solid too. I hope we don't. I hope we don't end up like no Jamel versus Jamal action. That would make me mad.
Ain't gonna
Because
never happen.
yeah, because the Klitschko's didn't have to do all that, so they shouldn't have to do all that. Haney about to school JoJo, says Artman. Loma versus Linares was a good fight, and then everybody hit the Cash App, $ Artman boxing. But yeah, but and then Julius Streeter says, Devin Haney, please leave Matchroom so your American based fans can see you fight. Well, Devin Haney is not officially signed to Matchroom like as an actual fighter. He's independent, but it's just he uses Matchroom as a distributor. So it's kind of the same situation that Canelo had with him. So I don't know how many more fights he has left, but if that's what he want to do, he can do that. But he's independent, so it don't matter on his side who he's fighting or whatever. Like and again,
This
Haney
dude
is
Eddie
true.
Hearn can't get him.
Man, shit, dude. It's a good chat we had today, but I gotta close this live session out. I might do one tomorrow because they have another press conference, but I don't know. The press conference kind of been lackluster. So we'll see. I'm ready to see Gervonta Davis. I might just talk about Gervonta Davis Cruz tomorrow, and we definitely doing a live fight party this Saturday and Sunday. Fuck it.
all right for sure.
Any closing words, guys?
Oh, yeah. I got Haney over JoJo by unanimous decision or potentially a stoppage if JoJo decides to fight Goofy. Hopefully he doesn't headbutt and ruin the fight, and that's it.
Yeah.
What about you, Mr. Banks?
Yeah, I got Haney as well, and I think Haney gonna get him out of there. And
Yeah,
same with
I
Tank.
got Haney by stoppage.
I think the Tank fight gonna be tougher than people think it is, though. I will say that, but he gonna get him out of there.
Yeah, most definitely. But we're gonna top it up tomorrow. Shout out to everybody who likes and subscribe. Y'all hit the Cash App $ Artmanboxing, and we'll be back.
All right, bet.